In a day where the news cycle is going to be completely full of Donald Trump at McDonald's, there's some more important things to talk about. Now, I saw a tweet from Alex Jones yesterday. Alex Jones I take with a giant grain of salt. But he mentioned 3 things in this tweet. 1, Israel's plans to attack Iran are leaked. 2, China told its military to prepare for an imminent global conflict. Number 3, the biggest newspaper in Germany is reporting that NATO is going to give Ukraine nukes. Now, let's break these down, because this is actually really scary stuff. So, first things first, let's start with Israel. So these plans appear to be real. And by the way, I've linked articles in the description about all these stories. These plans appear to be real. The plan to the plan to attack Iran. This seems to be in retribution for the strike attempt to kill Netanyahu. What worries me the most about this, we just sent a whole bunch of troops to the Middle East, several thousand troops. And we already had a few there. Why were they there? Why were they sent there? Ostensibly, they're there to help evacuate Americans and other citizens that are there. Now, what I think, and I don't know this for sure, but what this looks like to me is that these troops are bait with Israel, because there's no way that we didn't know Israel was going to attack Iran. There's no way we didn't know that. We knew that. Especially with how intertwined our defenses are. In fact, we just sent them $20 billion more. The House is investigating this right now, but there's no way our intelligence agencies didn't already know this. The president likely already knew this, and different administrative officials probably knew this. It looks to me like these troops are sent there almost in hopes by, the big brains who are moving the pawns on the chessboard, who would like for a strike from Iran to kill one of them. Because then we're dragged in. We're in. We're not coming out when that happens. We're going to war with Iran if they send a strike and it kills one of our troops. That's what I think they're doing. Especially now that we know that, this is what their plan is. Because Israel's not stopping, and we're continuing to fund them. While they're posturing, the politicians in the United States are posturing, saying, Israel, you've achieved your objective, stop. Meanwhile, here's another $20 billion to continue your war effort. Yeah, something doesn't add up with that. Now, moving on to the next bit. Xi Jinping spoke to the military, told them to drill harder. Work hard, make sure that you're competent for combat. And he told them that they're going to need to be ready for a global conflict. To me, this kind of signals a war in Taiwan. My brother is a Marine over in Okinawa. He's been put on high alert. I've mentioned this last week. China is amping up their drills in the South China Sea with their Navy. They've implemented a blockade of Taiwan. Things are in motion right now. And with the U.S. in the turmoil that it is, I believe that they see this as an opportunity. Now, whether anything comes out of it or not, I don't know. Maybe this is just fear-mongering and posturing from China. I don't know if that's the case. But what I do know is that a lot of pawns are moving. And what was it that Gandalf said in Lord of the Rings? The board is set, the pieces are moving. And that's true. Iran, Israel, Russia, Ukraine, China, and Taiwan. And that brings me to the last bit of information here. Now, a few days ago, Vladimir Zelensky said, either NATO gives us nukes, or no, either we become part of NATO, or we're developing nukes. He walked those comments back. And NATO hasn't gone and confirmed either one of those things is going to happen. But, of course, we know if Ukraine gets nukes, Russia's not gonna hold back. Russia's got nukes. Russia's got plenty of nukes. Russia's got more nukes than anybody in the world, I believe. If Ukraine becomes part of NATO, then Russia is effectively in a war. If Ukraine becomes part of NATO, Russia is in a war with NATO, which means they're at war with all the other nations involved, including us. Of course, this is what the war machine wants to happen. This means unlimited money, pretty much. The newspaper Bild, which is the biggest newspaper in Germany, has reported that NATO is going to give Ukraine nukes. Now, Ukraine is denying this. As far as I know, NATO hasn't made an absolutely definitive statement. Everything that they've said before is like, no, we're probably not going to do that. That's, it's on the table with talks, but it's probably not going to happen. But there hasn't been like a absolutely not, never, we're never going to give them nuclear capabilities. That's not been said by NATO. So when this is being reported, and even in the article that I linked in the description, it says, the German tabloid Bild reports this. Well, that tabloid is the #1 newspaper in the country that carries great political weight with the politicians in Germany, and it's read by about 7 million people. That is non-trivial. It's the biggest. It's kind of like if the New York Times reported that, NATO is going to give nukes to Ukraine. Well, people will believe that. The New York Times doesn't often report things like that without corroborating evidence, like things like of that magnitude. They'll report lies about Donald Trump. Of course they will. Everybody does, because that's where the money is in reporting these days. But their reputation is at stake. And for a newspaper of that caliber, I don't see them putting out that story lightly. I tried to obtain a copy of it in German. I couldn't open up the actual file, and it was in German, so I couldn't figure out what I was looking for. This is all very serious stuff. This is maybe the most serious stuff. I know we have an election going on. I know Donald Trump just worked a shift at McDonald's, and we're all freaking out about that. But this is kind of where the eye of Sauron is pointing right now. So be aware of this and take any measures that you need to prepare yourself for something absolutely bonkers to happen. That's about all.